Hello, everyone. I'm 18 Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. It was another toasty day across western Wisconsin on our Tuesday. High temperatures topped out in the upper 80s and low 90s, mid 80s in Medford, but we did get to 90 in Chautauqua, Menominee, Eau Claire, and in Red Wing. Osceola was the warm spot at 92 degrees. Of course, it was very humid again yesterday. You can see those dew points throughout the day, staying pretty steady between about 65 and 68 degrees. Which at times made the heat index peak at about 92, 93 degrees. 93 was our highest feels like temperature yesterday. So down slightly from our Monday. Of course, Monday we had the dew points a couple degrees higher at times. But we have changes on the way. We're tracking showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for today. We're then looking at cooler and less humid weather for Thursday and Friday. That part of the forecast is still expected. And then we're tracking the next round of showers and thunderstorms as we get into Friday night and into Saturday. All thanks to a parade of low pressure systems. This is the low pressure that brought the showers and storms that weakened as it got to the Chippewa River last night. And then this low to the southwest is what will be responsible for our rain and storm chances for our Wednesday. In fact, areas north of us got a lot of rain in a short amount of time last night. There's flood warnings in place from Ashland to Drummond to Solon Springs to Minong in Washburn County, and then just to east of Siren. Some of these locations picked up 5 to 8 inches of rain during the late afternoon and evening hours as the storms produced not only torrential rainfall but trained over the same locations. Now, we have the potential for some heavy downpours here in western Wisconsin today, but we're not expecting, I don't think, rain totals like they saw up to the north. And in fact, they're going to probably see some more rain today, so that's not good news there. But with that being said, there is the possibility we could have some heavier downpours from time to time in some locations. Of course, a few thunderstorms are embedded in that as well. By this evening, we'll still have a few scattered showers around, but by the time we get into the late evening overnight time frame, the rain exits, skies will gradually clear, and we are in for a beautiful day on Thursday with clear to partly cloudy skies. How much more rain are we looking at? I'll talk about that in a second, but I do want to mention we are tracking another chance for showers and storms Friday night into Saturday. Right now, I'm not anticipating a threat for severe weather, and we're still waiting to see once we get within the window of the higher resolution data if we're going to see any heavy rain with that. Can't rule it out, but we'll update you on that tomorrow for sure. And then more shower and storm chances return in isolated to scattered fashion into early next week. So additional rainfall, again, the higher rainfall totals likely will be to the south and east, lesser totals to the north and west. But any way you look at it, wherever the heavier downpour is set up, we could see localized amounts of 1 to 2+ inches of rain. But most spots will see up to a ½ inch to an inch of rain. Again, this is from the Weather Prediction Center, and they're indicating lesser northwest, more to the south and east. And speaking of the southeast, we actually have a threat for a couple of strong to severe storms with the activity today. Level 1 risk comes up to Abbotsford, Fall Creek, and Fountain City. Level 2 risk from Marshfield to Black River Falls, Alma Center, Melrose, south and east. That is because temperatures there are going to be warmer versus areas to the north and west. The main hazards, there is a threat for an isolated tornado along with mostly a damaging wind threat with winds upwards of 50 to 70 miles per hour. There's no threat for hail, but there could be some hail maybe up to about nickel size or less with some of the stronger storms. This is mostly going to be a wind threat with maybe an isolated tornado or two mixed in. Now, in the short term, we are going to see a nice drop off in the dew points. So we'll be in the 60s this morning, and then we're going to actually see them fall throughout the day. For Thursday, we're going to be in that comfy to pleasant category, which would be in the lower half of the 50s. Below 50, we would consider it comfy, at least on this map anyways. Now, by Friday, it does come back up a little bit, not much. It will get back into the mid to upper 50s, which is still pretty comfortable. It'll just be slightly more noticeable than what we're going to have tomorrow. But going into the longer term, you can see how we jump back up into the bit humid, muggy category, whatever you want to call it, to the very humid category for the weekend. Comes down slightly on Sunday as we get a slight wedge of high pressure to kind of give us a little bit of a push of slightly drier air. So it comes down slightly Sunday, but then southerly winds return Monday into Tuesday of next week and beyond, and those dew points are forecasted to ramp back up again. Highs today across the area, 60s north and northwest to as warm as 80s south and east. Once the low passes through, temperatures will be going down into the afternoon. So some of us, like Eau Claire and Menominee, for example, will see our high temperatures likely before noon today. And then we're going to drop into the afternoon. Tonight, we're in the upper 40s in Balsam Lake, but most of us, though, in the low to mid 50s. So if you want to open up the windows tonight, would not be a bad idea to do so. And you can do the same thing again tomorrow, too, with highs in the mid 70s. That's a little below average, but it's going to feel pretty nice. And then for Friday, we're going to see temperatures a couple degrees warmer with mid to upper 70s. And we'll be around that even into the weekend as well. So again, for Eau Claire today, showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain possible, high of 72. And winds will actually get a little breezy as we get into the afternoon as well. And then again, we'll have that chance for a few showers and storms Friday night into Saturday, mainly in the morning. There's a slight chance that'll linger into the afternoon. And then you can see we turn very humid again next week and warming up as well. There's actually projections are to show a heat dome building to our south. So we'll be on the northern edge of it, which means it won't be as hot or as humid as it will be to the south. But this also means we could have some isolated to scattered chances for showers and storms each day. So something to keep in mind as we get into next week.